Hey everybody, what is going on? Of course, I'd just like to thank you for popping on today with me. Welcome to What's the 411? Of course, it's your girl, Miss Ellie, coming at you live every single Monday at 8 o'clock right here on Instagram. So today I want to just get thank everybody for coming on to our platform on Saturday for a seat at our table. It was wonderful. And we had the wonderful Donovan in the building. Yes, Donovan came through on Saturday. It was an awesome day, Donovan. Would you not agree?
It was a beautiful day. I loved it. I loved it. It was very
Yeah, it
powerful
was good.
uh, for the Black community too. It was amazing. Thank
Yes,
you.
yes. It was a great, great day, and I'm honored to have Donovan, who was one of our panelists on Saturday, come back and join me for a more in-depth look at Heart of a Man. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Donovan, and I would love for you to introduce yourself and let all the guests know who you are and what Heart of a Man is.
Hey, my name is Donovan. Yes, and it's so funny. I was actually doing some thinking about Heart of a Man before when I started, and I had these big visions of having this big building called Heart of a Man, and I still have that vision, but now things are a little bit different now because it's something I'm trying to create, like an organization I've created to help men overcome their inner battles and elevate their voices and feel inspired to share their stories more openly and be more vulnerable, as my brother says. So I'm really here to help men really remove the stigma associated with mental health and vulnerability. And I want to share my story and help men share their stories too. So here we are. Here we are.
Yes, and we want to thank you because this is huge. This is something that's extremely important
Yes.
in our community, making sure that you are ending that stigma, taking that stigma, tearing it down. Talk about it. Talk about the stigma and why this is so important to you.
Well, there's been a stigma in our community for a long, long time. And along with, racial discrimination, different things, mental health is a stigma in our community that's definitely shunned. And I used to get really angry that it was shunned, but I was one of those guys that would shun mental health from our community. I was like, whatever. Like when I was 21 years old, when my mother took me to the my doctor, he diagnosed me with depression. And as a young black man growing up from Jamaica, I didn't believe in depression. I believed in demons, and my mother told me, and my family told me about the spiritual side of that stuff, right? So when I got diagnosed, my mind planted a seed in my mind to say, you know what, I got to find out what this is. So from that day on, I wasn't really following it at that time, but because that seed was planted, it was growing. And when my mother passed of cancer, is when I really opened my eye to say, you know what, I'm depressed and I'm struggling with depression. I'm struggling with post traumatic stress disorder. I need the help. So, but I didn't get the help I needed the way I needed it. And that's because number one, I didn't understand a lot about mental health. And I feel like in our black community, we don't get the help we need the way we need it. I mean, I'm not going to go
Right.
see a lot of black psychologists, except for the one and only Natasha Williams, also, too. She's
Right, right.
amazing, right? But
Shout out to
shout
Natasha.
out to Natasha, definitely. But it's
Yeah.
been, that's the difficult thing. And I wasn't able to see a therapist I felt really connected to, but I still was open to it. And I had to be vulnerable and open up. And I must have seen about five, six, seven, about eight therapists before I was able to connect with one. Because I did get the knowledge of what I was going through, like my depression, my PTSD because losing my mother, but I still didn't want to open up for so long until I had to really find someone I could talk to, which number one was God. Number two was a therapist I met that told me, Donovan, you've been living with this since you're a little boy. I've been struggling with this stuff since I was like a little boy and I didn't know it. I felt down and out for such a long time, but it was like, damn, You know, as a Jamaican young boy growing up, what am I supposed to do with this? I can't really talk about it openly, but I had to get the help. And
Right.
that's why I was able to finally say, you know what? I'm going to be vulnerable. I'm going to be courageous. I'm going to share my story. And I'm going to help other men do the same thing. And it's been a battle, but the battle has not ended. It has not ended. And this is why
Right.
I'm still here. The coronavirus also caused a lot of discouragement on my spirit. A lot of discouragement. Because I think I had these
Yeah.
big dreams, these big goals to do all these amazing things, right? And I was like, what the hell is this? I'm already struggling with depression. I have to sit on my couch. I have to stay inside isolated. You know how many men and women out there that probably were like, what the hell am I going to do? You know what I'm saying? Especially they love going out and hanging out. That's been difficult. So that's why I can't give up now. And that's why I'm going to fight for what we believe in and help my community understand what mental health is, and just help people just really understand more. And I see Mad Mike there too. Mad Mike, shout out. And another, you're a warrior. Thank you very much, lady. Thank you very much.
Yes. And that's huge because in our community we don't see this,
No,
Donovan. We do not see black, especially okay, females. You see them out there. Even the black female you don't see as much. But the black male, you do not. We do not see this out here. Period. So
when
this is huge.
when you say you don't see it, what do what you don't see what exactly? Tell me. I want to know from a female's perspective. What don't you see?
I don't see our black males being able to embrace their emotions,
Okay.
being able to express themselves,
Okay.
being able to talk. You know what I mean? There's a lot of hurt in our black community.
Yes.
The boy code. She's
Yes.
talking about it right now. You know what I mean? Like, you are raised to be strong and to, don't cry because you're a boy. And if you fall down, pick up yourself, dust your knees off, and keep going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then that boy turns into a teenager, into a man, and it's like it's a cycle that just has to be broken.
It's a cycle that has to be broken. It's very difficult because if we go back to even slavery, we're talking about like 300 years of slavery. It's like with even mental health too. Like we suffered from post-traumatic slave syndrome. I was reading that book. I think I showed you that book the other day. I'm not sure, but that affects our mental health too as black people in our community too. Slavery, all those things. But as men, if we are brought up to not cry from our little boys, not talk about our emotions, it's going to be very hard for us to change the way we think, to change the way we communicate. We have to really unlearn and learn something new and gain that knowledge to see, you know what, it's okay. But a man doesn't have to cry to really be vulnerable, though. I'm just going to let everyone know that. I used to think we have to cry, but there's some men out there that really, it's not, they can't cry like maybe I can cry. You know, they do express their emotions in different ways, but the big thing is to seek the help you need, like seeing a therapist, starting to understand and looking up different ways, different mental health issues, like PTSD, you know, like the depression. Like for myself, I have a friend, he still to this day does not accept the fact that he's depressed. And he's not doing it. And that's what Heart of a Man is here for, so we could speak up openly and share what's really going on. That's why I can't give up on this right now. And I'm here for the rest of my life, I think. With God's help, I'm gonna continue doing this.
Yeah, and you talk a lot about therapy, which is another big like word in the community that we're just like therapy. You know what I mean? Are we really feeling that? Or it's hard to tell somebody that as a black person, you tell anybody that you're going to a therapist, it's almost like, oh, she's crazy or he's
Yeah.
crazy. Let's step away, take two steps back. Talk to us about the importance of therapy.
Well, therapy could change your life. It could change your life. It could change your mind. It could save you. It could save a lot. I think therapy could actually, if we open our hearts and our minds for therapy, we can really change. But if we go into even therapy and we still lock our minds and our hearts and put that wall up, it's not going to help. Because the moment we see a therapist, and there's different therapists you can see too that I realized from doing my studies, You could see a psychologist where you could share your story and they could teach you a lot of things too. You could see a psychiatrist that can, you're gonna tell them what's wrong, but they're gonna diagnose you and probably give you a pill also too, antidepressants. And I'm not gonna knock it. I was knocking antidepressants before, but I'm not knocking it anymore because I stopped taking mine. And there's also, you can see a psychotherapist where you can learn about cognitive behavioral therapy, like CBT, and learn skills you can develop, right? And that's so amazing because if I didn't learn that stuff right now, here's one thing I'd be. If I didn't get the help I needed as a man, I'd probably be number one in jail. Number two, I might have just said, you know what, enough is enough. And I would end my life probably. Or I probably would have just been locked in my room day and night and not be able to do Heart of a Man and speak openly about my feelings and try to help other men. So getting the help is so important, but it's so friggin' difficult because we really, really don't have a lot of therapists out there. And I don't want to knock therapists, but it's really hard for us to connect with a good therapist as Black men. I'll say it loud and clear. That's a difficult one. It's very, very, very difficult. So that's what I would say.
Therapy in younger age, school age, can be tricky and risky. The involvement of schools, for instance, or youth expressing what they think or deal with can turn into a report to CAS. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah, exactly.
Very true.
But that's why I'm saying parents are.
But this is what you're trying to say is that therapy, finding a good therapist, especially for people that are in our community that we can trust, is not easy.
No, it's not. It's not easy. And I'm going to say something. This might be very disrespectful. I'm not going to disrespect anybody, but for example, I'm a Black man born in Jamaica. I have seen a therapist maybe from, let's say, Europe, right? And I would share my story about maybe different things. And I could tell they couldn't connect with me deeply. And I had to understand why. Why is that? Because it has to do with her culture also, too. Like, I could tell you right now, I wish I studied to become a psychologist. I wish I studied this stuff so I could help the young Black kids. What I could do now is I could share my story and coach them to go and get that help, right? Read the books. And reading is boring sometimes, especially like me. I have ADD, right? It's difficult. But if I could read a book, you can read a book too. So gaining that knowledge and developing that knowledge to keep our knowledge reservoirs full, is a beautiful thing. Like Marcus Garvey says, knowledge is a powerful thing too. So we got to really gain that knowledge in our community.
Definitely, we got to gain that knowledge. And then, of course, connecting with different individuals such as yourself, Donovan, who are out there in the community doing it. You know what I mean? Talking about it, because sometimes, like, it's hard. Like you said, you have a friend who's in denial. A lot of people in our community are in denial.
Yes.
We do not want to admit because we're scared of that stigma. We're scared of looking crazy or sounding crazy or even just asking for help. Like, there's this big thing around shame in our community that just also we got to get rid of it. Like, if somebody needs help, we should be able to let them feel comfortable enough to reach out to ask for that help.
That's right. And a lot of times we feel shame as young men too, because we grow up and our parents are telling us, stop crying, be strong, stop it, boys don't cry, What does that do to us? That makes us believe, okay, so I can't share my feelings, right? I can't really open up and talk about what's going on. So you're 25 now, you're 35, and you remember those words your mom said or your dad said. And I want to tell all the parents, be careful what you say to your kids, because those things could lead to destruction. Like the crime rate has grown so much, and a lot of these young men doing certain things are struggling with mental health issues too. But they don't know what they're going through really deeply because they're not getting the help, right? So I really want our community to find a way to get the help and open up. And men, it's not going to be easy, but I'm telling you, you're so courageous if you go and get the help you need. Like, I'm standing here right now, and I cannot tell you how important it is to get the help, because I'm here right now, who I thought I was Mr. Tough Guy that could be, I could get through anything. I'm all right. I'm a big man. I'm a shatta. All the Jamaican things I thought I was, but I still got the help. This shot I got the help. I went out there and I still got the help. And that's what I love about learning too. So I don't want you guys
Yeah.
to listen to that stuff. Parents, please teach your child that it's okay to cry. My son the other day was crying, and I told him, keep crying. You can talk up to me about anything. Those things are very important also too. And that's from Heart of a Man.
Oh, how important is it to be able to express yourself? Like, obviously, you have a son, so you see the importance of this, but being raised in the community, maybe where you didn't have that opportunity, how important is it now to make sure that your son gets that conversation?
It's probably one of the most important things right now because that could make or break my son. Um, because if he doesn't get the help from me and get that and get taught those things and keep his knowledge reservoirs full and open up, he could follow someone else that tells him not to do that, right? And that could break him. That could lead to suicide. That could lead to depression, right? That could lead to things that are even crazy, like even the violence. I truly believe a lot of the violence that is happening out here in this world is because of a lot of these young black men are struggling with mental health issues and they're not getting the help, right? And if they do get the help, they're getting the help from the trap music out there right now, right? They're getting the help from other people who's giving them poison. And I want to just say, be careful, please. So that's why I got to stand up for my son. And I have to be there for him. I got to tell him, cry. I'm here. Just talk about what's going on. Please know how important it is for us to be there for our children, for our brothers, our sisters in the black community, because they will feel belittled even, and they will experience racism also too, and that could break us. And that's why I read that book, Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome. We have to open up and share that. You understand? We have to gain the knowledge. Whoever's listening to this, please understand that's so damn important. I'll tell you a quick story. My son, the other day, was playing at Palladium or something, and he was started to cry because he was losing all the games, right? And he went into a corner and went like this, and he tried to fight his tears because when I just had him, that's when I was still in my mindset of, oh no, man up. He was told that probably from his 1 or 2 years old. He still carried that. He's 11 years old today. So that's how important our words are. But I had to teach him something different. I had to make him learn that it's okay to cry now. So I hugged him. Okay? I say, listen, son, it's okay. You can cry. I kissed him on the cheek. I kissed him on his forehead. I hugged him tight. You know what that means? That means he has some hope. You know? That's a beautiful thing. And that's what I want to tell everyone out there today, please. Even a hug is beautiful. Just a nice hug and saying, talk about your feelings. Vulnerability is strength, like I said. Be vulnerable and open up, share. And if you're not that guy that wants to share as much, call someone that you really trust and talk to them about what's going on inside.
Wow. You talk about, post-traumatic slave syndrome as well that we are all dealing with. Why don't you give us a little bit of a background on that? Explain some of the information that you've learned
Well,
thus far.
I read the book. First of all, I never thought I would read the book. Like, I was like, I'm not reading this. Not until, because here, I'll tell you the truth. I used to lie to myself that slavery doesn't really exist. I used to even lie to myself. I was called nigger by white people in the past, right? And I still brush it off like it ain't nothing. Nah, that ain't nothing. That ain't nothing. Whatever. It is something because it broke me, right? And post-traumatic slave syndrome, it's like generations being passed on. Your mother or your father could have been a slave like 100 years ago, and what they face is being passed on generation after generation, right? And it's a syndrome which could break us. And she discusses a lot of things and how racism affects us and our mental health, right? And I had to read that book to gain more knowledge. I
Sorry, Donovan, your volume is really low.
My volume's low. Can you
Oh,
hear
there
me
it
now?
is. I just hear you now. Perfect. Yeah.
No, my volume can't be low. I'm telling you too much things. I want to spread the message. I gotta say it louder, louder. Come on. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear
All
you.
right.
It's bouncing up and down, but maybe your hand is over the speaker.
Yeah. Okay. So
Okay.
what I was saying about post-traumatic slave syndrome is that something a lot of black people, a lot of minorities face, in our communities, slavery that's been going on. You know, I didn't know slavery ended. I thought slavery ended in like the 1700s. I thought that. I didn't even know that. I had to read the book. When I read the book, I was like, oh my gosh, right? Racism's still going on to this day. And because of post-traumatic slave syndrome, we feel still defeated at times as Black people, right? Which causes mental health issues to happen, right? And it's not going away that easy. Okay, we got to still fight for it. We got to still read about it. We still got to understand our culture, our history, things like that. And I'm going to tell you right now how important that is. I want to try to find a book to let you see it, but looks like I can't find it right now. But I want you to read it. Post-traumatic slave syndrome is something, it's like post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. What happens when you have PTSD? You get in a car accident, you know, it's post-traumatic. So you remember it. Like my mother passing away from cancer, that was post-traumatic stress disorder also too. I remember that, right? So it's like slavery, same thing. It's still gonna happen. Slavery still, that's impacted us big time as Black people, as a culture, right? So we have to understand how to overcome that. It's not gonna be friggin' easy though, right? And she's saying right now, slavery exists today. You see? Oh wow! Oh, look what she's. See, human trafficking. Yeah. There's so many things happening. Thank you so much for sharing that. Right? That's what I wanna stand up for right now. So, I have to learn more about it. I can't tell you I know everything about it, but I know I've been called the N-word a few times. You know, when I talk to certain people about it, they don't want to hear it. I could tell. I could feel people's vibe because they feel uncomfortable. But hey. But I want to say something too about the Black community. We feel uncomfortable talking about depression. If I'm hanging out with a bunch of dudes and I bring up the word depression, what happens?
Yeah.
Shoot, you know? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
No?
True. Yeah.
But if I bring up slavery in front of the white people, it's like, bring up depression in front of them? Yeah, let's talk about it. Yeah, it still exists, you know? So in our culture right now, I would love to open our hearts. And that's why I created that website. I'm writing blogs every week so people could take a look at the blogs and just get a different, change of perspective, because the blogs are informative. It's inspiring, right? So check out heartofaman.com, please. And I want to touch on that. It can't save everyone. It can be depression to try to save everyone. Keep your up to work one community at a time. Beautiful comment. You can't save everyone. You cannot save everyone. I thought I could save the world when I started Heart of a Man. I thought I was going to save every man, but it's been a battle, and it's not easy.
Yeah, yeah. And it's not, it's not easy to save everybody because we are all on a different journey.
Yes.
So everybody is going to have their time where they're going to want to accept what's happening, and then you have to want to move forward. If you don't want to move forward, then you're going to remain stuck.
That's right.
And talk about your journey and how difficult at times it is to stay pressed and to continue moving forward. You know what I mean?
Listen, it was stressful even today. Every day I wake up sometimes. I wake up in the morning and it's very difficult at times to even go on with my day. I can say that loud and clear. It's not going to be an overnight boom. You're going to, like, for example, I still battle depression now. After 18 years of being diagnosed now, I still struggle with depression. So I didn't get over it, but I've learned how to cope with it, right? And it's going to continuously happen. You're going to continually just go through it. I'm going to take that back. You're going to learn how to cope with it. You might go through it. Some people have different depression, right? Some people have seasonal depression. Some people have depression, like, for example, myself, it's in my brain, like it's clinical depression where it happens continuously, right? And I had to learn how to cope with it, but it's not going to be easy. But the journey is hard, but it's so worth it. We can just fight for it and overcome it if we learn more about our depression, learn more about ourselves, right? Like you and I talking right now, if I get off this call, I might feel depressed right after, but I know how to go and meditate. I know how to just, maybe call my therapist to talk about how I'm feeling. And that right there could save my life, and it could save other people's lives too. It's not going to end just like that. It's not. But we have to keep pushing forward. And I feel depressed. Like, I'll tell you what's happened since COVID. And a lot of people are feeling like this right now. I don't want to just say it like that, but the suicide rate, I believe, has increased since COVID started. When you're isolated and you're stuck inside your home, that's not easy to cope with because you're going to feel down and out, right? You're not going to be able to go and hang out with your friends. Isolation could lead to something really terrible, like depression can lead to suicide also too, right? So COVID's difficult, and a lot of people are facing that. But I want to just give everyone a hug right now, even through this, saying that you're not alone. You know, I'm going through it too, and I had to pick up books. I had to go for a walk every day. I had to meet the right people. I had to even listen to music. I listen to gospel. You know, sometimes I listen to some slow jams from the 90s. So relive that whole slow jam. I listen to some slow jams from the 90s. But, you know, I listen to my gospel and I pray. You know, and I have some great people around me now that's been really supportive and giving me that, just that sense of hope that no matter what I'm facing, you know, they're there for me. And we got to be there for one another, especially in the Black community too. We really have to be there for one another. We got to stand up for one another. We can't get distant. If that loved one is depressed and facing that, and they don't seem like, oh, one day they can get over it, don't run. Just try to help them as much as you can. And ways to help is really giving them just a hug sometimes. Send them a quote. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, Heart of a Man, I really want men to know that we have hearts. We're a man, but we could also learn how to encourage one another and put positive things in our hearts. That's a beautiful thing.
Yes. Yes, very, very important in our community. And you're talking about, you know, maintaining and making sure that you can stay focused on the end result and what you really want to share with the community. How do you manage, like, with your triggers? Like, you must, now that you are a little bit more aware of things, like you said, you might get off of this live and something might make you feel down, but you know where to go now to, you know, lift your spirits or get that motivation to continue on. Like, talk to us about triggers and how we can recognize our triggers and then deal with them.
Well, a lot of people are sensitive. I was having a discussion with a friend today. We all have triggers. It could be something that happened in our past, like something that was said to us, something that was done to us, and it could trigger us right away. And we could feel like we're reliving that, and that could hurt a lot. That could make us feel like, oh, shoot, what's happening, right? In fact, I've had someone in my family that committed suicide because they held so many things in, but he was triggered by the words that was said to him. I don't share this a lot, but the way to cope with triggers, for example, for myself, okay, is if I'm feeling really down and I feel really isolated and broken and lost, I do go for walks. I love going for walks, right? That's something beautiful too. For myself also too, I pray and I meditate. I don't know if you guys know what mindful meditation is, but if you download one of those apps, do you know what that is? Mindfulness meditation?
I do know what it is, but explain it to us. Talk to us about mindful meditation.
Mindful meditation is when you live in the now. Like you're meditating. You're not thinking about yesterday. You're not thinking about tomorrow. You're thinking about now. You're in the now, and it's making you understand what you're feeling right now, right? It makes you just calm your brain, so your brain's not thinking 100 things at once. It is so helpful. Like that stress we feel, that pressure we feel at times, that can lead to even more depression. Mindfulness meditation is so damn therapeutic. I want you guys to download the app, and I want you just to Google what mindfulness meditation is. You're living in the now. The mindfulness meditation app can help you overcome some of these things you're going through. And like I said, too, go for walks. And also there's a group you can join for mindfulness meditation. There's a group you can join, so you can Google that too. I myself, I did a mindfulness meditation group in 2017, and also 2015, and it was so helpful. Like, I mean, like Pedro just said, it's so important. Like, I was going through so much. My heart was hurting me because of my depression, and it made me feel so calm. It relaxed me, made me feel like, you know what? Wait a minute. That stress I'm feeling, My meditation is not making me think about yesterday. It's not making me think about tomorrow. You know? It's that call for my son.
You
I
must have
think
heard
most
us
of them are
talking about
Tupac's, but
him.
it's all right.
Yeah.
I know, right? He
Wow.
hears me talking. I think
Yeah.
he's on Instagram right now, but even that too, spending time with friends and family, right? That's
Right.
therapeutic also too. Spending time with really great
Yeah.
friends and family. Like, I mean, someone that can make you laugh and is not going to be saying negative words to you, because words are so powerful, right? If you say you're stupid, you're dumb, and you say these words to someone that's suffering from depression or any mental health issue, that can actually break the person even more. You know,
Yeah.
and I want parents to know that too. I want friends to know that. Be careful what you say, because it's so powerful. It could break you.
Yeah.
And go and see a therapist. That's another thing too. I'm not going to say there's going to be a great therapist for you. The first one you see is going to change your life. I'm not going to say that, because sometimes it might take 1, 2, 3 times. We keep on trying to have a therapist that we could connect with, but that could change our lives. That could absolutely change our lives. You know, I had to see different therapists in order for me to say, whoa, you know what? Damn, this therapist has helped me. I'm able to understand.
And so for therapy, is that something that we can get for free, or is it always paid? You have to pay for therapy? Because
I
that's
think what's
another
happening now, that's a really good
problem.
question. Thanks for saying that. A lot of therapists, yes, if you have benefits, your benefits might cover it. If you're working, right, they could cover like
Okay.
80%, 90%. But if you're not working, there's also a therapist you could see online that might not charge you as much. And I believe some are also free, right? I
Okay.
told my friend I was going through some stuff to see a therapist, but he didn't have coverage. And he went to a clinic that was actually free, which was very helpful for him. You do have to search for it.
Nice.
Like, Google has to be your best friend sometimes. I mean, if you don't got the if you don't got the money to pay for a therapist, you can't afford it. Google it. You know what I'm saying? So, and if you have a friend, Google it for that friend. Send them the link,
Right.
stuff like that. That's a beautiful thing too.
Yeah. Yeah. And you also talked about your faith, that definitely must play a big factor in, you moving in purpose right now. So talk to us a bit about your faith and how that's helped you.
Well, first of all, if it wasn't for my faith, I think I would have been dead. I'll say it loud and clear. I would have been dead, because when you have faith, sometimes it's almost like all your whys and all your purpose is gone in this world. You're like, oh my God, I don't want to live anymore. But you hear that voice, and I hear my voice from God saying, you know what, you're still worth it. I still love you. I know it's difficult, like Elijah. If you read Elijah in the Bible, he said, God, I just
Yep.
want to die, right? King David
Yeah.
in the Bible didn't want to go on anymore. David wanted to
Yeah.
take gold. You know what I mean? But God still gave him the strength, right? And he allowed me to have the strength to encourage myself. You understand? And he encouraged me too. I encourage myself, and I read my Bible, and I pray. And I'm telling you, prayer could save your life. If you pray and you connect with other believers that can understand what you're going through. And I need the church to know that you cannot tell a Christian or someone that believes in God that there's no such thing as depression, that it's just the demon, it's just the enemy, it's just the devil, right? You have to, as a church also, too, whoever goes to church and your pastor tells you this, tell him to call me. Tell him to email me. I want to talk to him. You know what I'm saying? Because I had to find out that God said, no, 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 you can get the help. But no, I'm your first help. I could be here for you. Woo!
Yep.
Thanks for sharing. I love sharing my faith, because faith as small as a mustard seed can move mountains.
Talk about it.
Right? I'm 38 now. I'm here.
Yeah.
Right? I'm here. I'm still here. To God be the glory.
Yep. 100%. And that's important for people to remember, because if we read the stories and we reflect on the stories in the Bible, we will see numerous of the big leaders, big kings, and big people in the Bible, big stories. They've all fallen
Amen.
and have
Amen.
asked God to take their life.
There's been, if you review, if you look at the Bible, how many men in the Bible wanted
Yep.
to say, I'm tired, God. I can't do this anymore.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And I'm going to say, like, a lot of people, I've realized that a lot of people that are atheists also, too, the suicide rate is even higher. Because when you have zero hope left and you don't believe in God, that right there is like, that's the end of it, right? And I can tell you right now, Ellie, if I didn't believe in God, I wouldn't be here talking to you about this. You know what I'm saying? So I can hear, people could tell me, you know what, no, that doesn't, I don't believe in that. Okay, you don't believe in it, but I'm still going to spread the knowledge on what he's done for my life and what he can do for yours. You know? You know, trust in the Lord with all your heart of a man. Lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will set your path straight, even when you're going down. He's going to pick you back up and help you get through the mess.
And that's all we can hang on to. Is the promises that God has promised us. We know the truth. We know what he's designed you. And I say it all the time, you know, we are all put here for a purpose.
Amen.
And you have to fulfill your purpose. He designed you with something planted in you already. So he already knew Donovan before you came here. God knew you. God knew what you were going to go through. He knew how he was going to put these obstacles in your way to help you to learn so that you can help others. This is all by design for his glory.
Yes, we are all created for a reason. We all, he has a plan for us to help others, to help ourselves, to spread the message, and to just give people that hope, you know, that life is, there's a purpose. And that's what's so beautiful. You know, God's definitely going to give you that. And I want you to really realize that, you know, he has plans to prosper you, to give you hope in a future. You know, I could do all things through Christ who strengthens me. If this wasn't a PG version, I'll show you what's on my chest right now. But I have a tattoo on my chest that says I could do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And when I'm ready and I take off my shirt and I feel broken sometimes, I look at that and I'm like, damn. Yes. Philippians 4:13. Check it out.
Yes. I can't say nothing else, but that you're 100% right. You're 100% right. Leaning on the Lord is the only way. He is the way, the truth, and the light. And without that, we have nothing.
No.
We absolutely have nothing. Nothing at all. But we wanted to talk a bit about, you know, the expectations also, you know, of not only when you're going on this journey with your family, with your friends, in business, in public, like, what are some of the things that you can share with us that you've learned that you can help people to expect when they're on this journey of healing?
When you're on this journey of healing, and that's a really good question, you're going to lose a lot of people. There's going to be confidants who's going to stick by your side no matter what you're going through. You might, if you're lucky, you'll have 2 or 3 of the confidants in your life. Bishop T.D. Jakes said this. There's going to be comrades. They're going to be in your life because you're a part of, like, the same cause they're for. And there's going to be also constituents who will be in your life for a season, right? Some people are going to be in your life for a reason, a season, and a lifetime, you know? And I've learned that, you know, I've lost a lot of friends. You know, I can tell you right now, if Heart of a Man was blowing up and I was making millions of dollars, I believe I'd have people calling my phone nonstop. Even if I'm talking about depression and mental health, right? But I want you to realize, though, that's going to be a part of the journey, right? You're not just going to all of a sudden, boom, everyone's going to be by your side and everyone's going to be there holding your hand along the journey. Sometimes you're going to have to face it alone. And it's not going to be easy, but I just don't want you to give up, because if I'm still pushing forward after losing many people, there's a reason. You know, I still have that inkling of hope that I'm here for a reason, and I'm not going to give up. I'm going to lose people. You're going to lose people. Family, sometimes if you tell them you're depressed, sometimes they might even get distant from you. And if any of my family watch this, I know you guys, some of you don't believe in depression. I know people get distant. I know you guys don't believe in the demonic, sorry, you believe in demonic things, but not depression. But I'm going to tell you something, though. I'm not going to lose that hope because you left. And I don't want anyone to lose hope when their friends leave, when their family walks away, right? When you have a business and it's booming or it fails and people run away. That's just a part of life. You see what I'm saying? That's going to be a part of life. You have to understand, you got to pick yourself up. You got to pray, right? You got to pick yourself up the way that David encouraged himself. You know, it's going to be a part of the journey. But family and friends, guys, please don't expect them to stick by your side the entire way. You know, there's days I feel completely lonely. I can have a friend call me, 3 or 4 friends call me, and I can still feel alone that day, right? Because that's just what's happened through my life. You know, I felt alone since I was young. I could have 20 friends around me, but I can still feel alone. And that's just something we have to understand about life. But, hey, there's going to be that friend. Like, you know, Ellie, you're calling me and we're on this together. This means a lot to me. This means you're trying to stick by my side. You've heard my story before, and look where you're inviting me to speak. That's a beautiful thing. You know, I'm giving you a hug for that. Right now, a virtual hug, right?
Hugging you right back, man.
But you're going to be alone through this journey sometimes. But know that even if you're alone through this journey, it does not mean it's the end of the journey. Sometimes when everyone disappears, there's a reason for it, right? You're supposed to renew your mind, right? Sometimes you got to unlearn and learn new things. And that's just a part of the journey. You ask the most successful people in the world. That's what happened many times. And when you're dealing with depression and things like that, and you're talking about this stuff, you're not going to have all your friends around all the time. You're not going to have your family around all the time. They can maybe feel uncomfortable. And that's why I want to spread knowledge so people could go and understand more about this stuff so they can talk to their friends and family more about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's really important to remember because, you know, as you decide to embark on this journey, you have to be real with yourself.
You do.
Right?
You do.
You got to be
so
real with yourself.
You got to be real with yourself. You got to know who you are. You got to look in the mirror, pray, ask God, God, who am I? I don't know who I am. You know, so show me who I am. Just let me know the real me. You know, don't let me put on. I was doing some research through COVID about a persona. I was watching Carl Jung and studying Carl Jung, studying Viktor Frankl. You know, they're talking about some things I didn't even hear about before, like persona. Put on this thing like, yeah, you know, I got to make everyone love me. Be the real you. You have to be the real you. People will accept it. And if they don't accept it, it's too bad.
Too bad. Yeah. And sometimes that's a hard pill for, you know, your friends and family to swallow because, like you're saying, you know, once you decided to take this journey, if you're not honest with yourself, you're still kind of people pleasing and you won't get anywhere.
You won't get anywhere. You could people please for the rest of your life. A lot of people that are now in their 60s and 70s probably they regret what they've done because you're like, all I did was please people my whole life. And look at me now. I'm alone.
Right.
I'm sick. You can't people please because that's not going to bring true joy. That's not going to bring your peace. Okay? Be yourself and learn how to please God. Please just find your destiny. And I'm going to tell you right now, when you people please, you'll get distracted, and distractions destroy destiny. You don't want that.
Very, very, very true. Very true. So just talk to us a bit more about Heart of a Man. Tell us exactly, I know you're dealing with the support groups right now. Talk to us about how we can share this message and support your support group.
Well, my support group, first of all, I created a Heart of Man support group a few years back, and it was on and off. I stopped, but I can't give up because some men want to sit down and talk and connect, right? Some men might not want to join the group, but it's still there. I mean, I went from sometimes 10 members to 2 members to 3 members, but it's a support group because a lot of times we can't talk to one another this openly as men. If we're just chilling with one another, you know, we're supposed to just talk about what we're supposed to talk about, you know, girls, that money, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, all surface level things that make us feel like men. But my support group is basically something I tried to create so we could just talk openly and share with one another what's really going on. You know, just talk. Whatever it is you're feeling that week, just talk about it. I feel like this. I'm feeling like that. And like, if I have 2 men, that means more to me sometimes than you have 20 men that can't really share. So my support group is there for men. You know, I created an apparel line, which is just a T-shirt to wear to say I support Heart of a Man, I support the mission, I support the vision, I support myself, and I'm here. You know, that's what it's there for also too. So join
Awesome, awesome.
Heart of a Man support group. Let's do it. Can't give it up. It's been years now. Still pushing through.
Yeah, yeah. And so what else does Heart of a Man do? Like you are, we've seen you on TV. You're doing segments. I mean, we just heard you on, of course, our summit on Saturday, a seat at our table, sharing your story, and you know, tell us what else is Heart of a Man out here doing, and what can we expect from you in the future?
I say something all the time. I just jumped right in. I say this word revolutionize manhood, but I want to revolutionize the way men think, and I want to just keep on pushing through. And I think you could expect Art of a Man to, number one, have a building when this COVID crap is over, where men can come and just chill, talk, play basketball, watch a movie, eat food, talk about whatever's on their heart, pray together. Those that pray together, stay together.
That's right.
Stuff like that. It's just something I just can't stop right now. It's just, there's so much more for it too. Like, when this COVID is over, I hope that God could open my eyes even more, because I'll tell you, I know a lot of people with a lot of visions, probably things crash. Imagine I opened up a big support group and I had a building, I had a store. Things would have probably closed down by now, but there was a reason for why that didn't happen, right?
Right.
Now here it is. So reach out to me too. If you guys feel like just talking, please send me a message, email me at info@heartofaman.com. Go to my website. You know, I like more subscribers for my newsletters, my blogs. Read them. It's just there for you. And I can help y'all with relationships too. Because I went from being a guy that sucks at relationships to understanding more about relationships.
Right.
That's what it's about now. Overcome, elevate, inspire. 3 words I always use. Can't give it up.
And one more thing I wanted to ask you is about, you were mentioning about reaching out to different people, different friends. How do you know the right person to reach out to? Like, how do we know who we can trust out here? You know what I mean? Like, it's so hard, because sometimes you reach out to people who you think you can trust about stuff, and they fail you.
Yeah. Well, let me just tell you a quick story about that too, really quickly. I've reached out to friends in the past that I knew since I was in my teens or my early 20s too. And I know they know I struggle with depression, but I think that made them feel uncomfortable. So they ran. I would like to say names, and you could kiss my, if they feel disrespected. But when you reach out to certain friends and you talk about mental health, some people feel uncomfortable if they don't know what it is, right? So what I want to do is I want people to learn more on how to connect with that loved one facing mental health issues, that, you know, that partner going through it. Because once you gain that knowledge and they reach out to you, you can know what to do. You can know the right things to say. And someone just wants you to listen. Be empathetic. Don't be sympathetic. You know what I'm saying? Be empathetic. Don't be sympathetic. It's a beautiful thing. You got to just
100%.
That's just what
She's
it is.
saying it right here, Lima. Confidentiality agreement plus how someone speaks of someone else is a great reference for your character.
Yes.
I 100% agree with that. 100%.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's big. That's huge. Good stuff. So I just want to thank you, Donovan. You are, I mean, a great inspiration out here. You are definitely paving a path, setting a foundation that we are not seeing out here. So you are paving the way for Black males, paving the way for our community as, you know, individuals. I mean, kudos to you. I'm like, trust me, giving you a hug, bigging you up. You got to big up yourself.
Send you a hug right
you
back.
know, yes.
Send you a hug.
Yes,
I just really hope this is my destiny. I believe I say I can believe, but if this is my destiny God has given me, then I'm not going to end it till the day I die. I want to
That's right.
revolutionize manhood. I want men to be vulnerable. I want men to be open. I want men to just share with one another, give each other that unconditional love, not conditional love. Let's do this together. You know, mental health
Yes.
is a journey, and we're here for it. I've been through it. I'm here for you.
Yes. And this is the healing that's required because as black men, we depend on you as black women. We depend on you guys.
Yeah,
You guys are our
yeah,
backbone, and we need to support you in this so that you can support the family. Because without you, we don't have the family. You know, the family unit in our communities are broken down, and we need to heal the backbone of our unit.
yes,
So
we do. We do.
big up
It's
yourself,
kind of funny you
Donovan.
say that because I think I would have ran away from my son and not been a father right now if I didn't know how much he needed me. You see,
Right?
a mother and a father might separate, might get divorced, but a son needs his father so damn bad.
Yeah.
It's the fatherly love is so important, you know.
Right.
And I'm not gonna stop saying that to men. Just be there for them. Even just be there.
Yeah.
Be that ear to listen. It's really important. Family, having that
Yeah.
bond, relationships. You know, check it out. Check it out, please. You know what? I've done another little video on relationships. You'll see coming.
Yeah.
Talk to men and women
Okay.
and how to stay together.
That's awesome. That's wonderful. Oh, Donovan, thank you so much again for Saturday, and thank you so much again for today, joining me here and giving us the 411 on Heart of a Man, and then, of course, on your amazing journey.
Thank you.
So I wish you, of course, all the
Thank
best,
you so much.
and I will let you go to go call your son back because he's probably like,
I
"What's my dad doing?
gotta call
Like,
him. I
what's up
gotta
with
call little
dad?"
man. Gotta call little man.
All right, you
Thank
take
you.
care and have
I
yourself a good
appreciate
night,
this.
okay?
All right. Be blessed, not stressed.
No problem.
Take care.
Yes, always. All
Bye.
right. Bye. Oh, guys, wow. Heart of a man. I mean, Donovan is just, all you can do is throw parts. All you can do is throw parts because Donovan is making waves out here, guys. He is definitely doing the most for the black men in our community. And I kind of popped that in there later because it just dawned on me after a while. But the black man is the backbone of our community. The black man is the backbone of our family. And as black women, we need our black men. We need them. We need them. We need to support them. We need to love them. We need to understand them, and all of us as a community need a healing, and it starts at the head of the household. And if you believe in the Word of God, you know that He says the man is the head of the house. The man is the head of the household. He's the head of the family. And if that head of the family is broken, then the entire home is going to be broken. So what we need is healing, and we need healing from the top to the bottom. And once we start with the black man, we can heal. Once he's healed, we will heal ourselves as women. We will heal our family, the young males and females coming up. It's so important. It's so important. And I mean, he just dropped so much information for us here to think about and to understand. And in order for us to understand ourselves and to understand the men in our community, we also need to go back to where we are coming from. Yes, we do need to think forward and think about our future, but at the same time, we need to know where we're coming from to understand these feelings that we have, to understand, these emotions that we're dealing with, this depression, these stigmas, the shame. We need to be able to understand it, and we need to be able to fight them, fight those things. And so Donovan expressed how important it is to reach out to people, get the help that we need, seek out therapy, and that it's not always going to just be a one and done. You know what I mean? You're not going to go out there, seek therapy, and then think that's it. The therapist is going to solve all of your issues. No, that's not the way it goes. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time for you to find somebody who is going to be a fit for you. And as we know in our community, we're not seeing all of are us in our community out there as therapists, right? So if you do need help, you've got to get out there, you've got to search, you've got to look for the help that you need. And then, of course, trust in the Lord that He is going to provide that right person for you. But it takes work. It takes work. We got to dig for that. And once you start digging, you know, you can't give up. You can't give up. And always remember Donovan, his story is so super inspiring. He's gone through so much and he hasn't stopped. He hasn't stopped. His faith is not going to stop. He continues to move forward and he's acknowledged his triggers and he knows where to turn when he sees those triggers. When something is triggering him, he knows exactly what to do so that he can continue to maintain. He understands his reason and his purpose. So I definitely just want to thank you guys for joining What's the 411 today. Big up to all of you guys who tuned in. Big up to Donovan McKenzie, CEO and founder of Heart of a Man. Just amazing, 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 amazing information that he is spreading with the masses. So we want to support him with that. Definitely, if you are interested in, seeking out, looking for help, looking for a support in anything that you may be going through, you definitely will want to reach out to Donovan. You can hit him up on Instagram, Heart of a Man. You can send him an email, info@heartofaman.com, and reach out to him, talk to him. He has a support group, and he is definitely trying to, as he said, revolutionize the way men think, revolutionize manhood. He's trying to change the trajectory of a male's perspective in our community, and it is extremely important that we get together as the head of our community, and as women and other community members, we assist you in straightening out the backbone of the community, because at the end of the day, you guys are the head of us, and we recognize this and we know this, and we need to get that straight, because once the head of our house is straight, the entire house is going to be swept and it's going to be clean and it's going to be organized. So let's get together, let's do this, let's organize and support each other. Okay, so make sure you head over to Donovan's page on Instagram, Heart of a Man. Check out how you can share this information with somebody that you know is in need and needs to get that help. And then if you, of course, need to get any help at all, make sure you reach out to Donovan, and he's going to be able to assist you in whichever way he can. Okay? So I want to thank you guys again for hopping on. Thank you so much for joining me. And I will be right here next Monday, 8 o'clock, bringing you the 411 like I do every single week. All right? Thanks, guys. Take care.